Hey guys, it's Wheeling the Gamer Girl here, and today I'll be doing a book review on this story. So, if you actually don't know what story is this, so this is actually one of my childhood books that I've been reading ever since I was really young. We still have it, but unfortunately, I cannot find it anywhere as it's actually in the brown bookshelf. This is actually where we keep all these classical and storybooks. So, anyways, let's get started. So, for Arthur in New York, it's actually a book that kids have read in the 2000s. And yeah, it was a really fun book because it involves DW bringing a Mary Moo cow into the city of New York. So, when the Reed family actually traveled to New York City, they were deciding to visit places like the Statue of Liberty, a museum, and a Broadway show. But DW is really excited to bring her Mary Moo cow, Alice, with her Mary Moo cow doll. So, as you all may know, in all the episodes, well, some of them, there's actually the reason why DW brings her Mary Moo cow doll everywhere. And yes, sometimes it's also her favorite show, which annoys Arthur a lot because I don't think Arthur will like that show, and it definitely does annoy him because sometimes you see in the episode that Mary Moo cow actually sings in Arthur's room, and Arthur gets really surprised to know why Mary Moo cow is here. And as well as this, I know that Mary Moo cow is actually, an anthropomorphic cow, and she was actually from the television show Mary Moo Cow. So it's actually a resemblance to Barney and Friends. So it's another PBS television program where kids grew up in the 2000s watching it. I think I do believe I watched some of the episodes from Arthur already, and that's actually one of the reasons, why the W likes that show. So actually, in some episodes, like, The Last of Mary Moo Cow, when it got cancelled, the W was really upset to see that her show was cancelled, and she then signs a petition to try to force her show to go back on the air. But at the end, the W managed to get her show back, and because of this, Arthur was not pleased that Dark Bunny has been cancelled because of the favors for the rerun of Mary Moo Cow. Of course, this doesn't go well, and Arthur runs away because he doesn't like Mary Moo Cow. And I seriously mean, it's just only a show. If he doesn't like it, he can just, go up. It doesn't matter if, you want DW to watch Mary Moo Cow. But it still doesn't mean that she's a brat, okay? Alright, anyways. I think that can be all for this character, Mary Moo Cow. So, unfortunately, when DW at the end doesn't follow her parents' instructions, she actually wanders off to see the Mary Moo Cow outfits collection on display. And luckily, Arthur knows where to find DW at the Mary Moo Cow place, of course. And actually, the moral is of the story is that you should never wander off by yourself. It still doesn't matter if, you're a kid or you're a teen, because sometimes in these kinds of places, they're really dangerous, and a lot of people who are bad, they may try to do bad things to you. So, yeah, this is actually a moral for children. Just don't wander off by yourself, especially when it's a crowded place. Because I'm afraid if a child goes missing, one thing's for sure is that they'll get kidnapped. They will be forced inside a car by a stranger. Yes, I've been seeing these before, and also it does happen in our country as well, especially in real life. But why did DW actually go down to see the Mary Moo Cow exhibit one more time? Is she really fascinated? Well, the last bit of the book, while Arthur was busy playing with baby Kate, DW actually did sneak out of the hotel reception room to go see the Mary Moo Cow display. and one more time. But her parents and her brother were very happy with the way DW had went. DW would have just told her parents that she's going to see an exhibition. I know DW is actually 4 in the series, but she turns 5 in the later seasons. But it still doesn't make her the right to actually go down to an exhibit without telling her parents. Because what if a stranger kidnapped her? Yeah, that's the thing, because this also happens in real life. And I noticed that New York is very, very big, especially with all the tourists and the foreigners, That's actually one of the reasons, why DW shouldn't have wandered off in the first place. And I do believe that, when DW actually did wander off, her parents actually got worried and luckily they found her. She wasn't hurt, but if somebody had kidnapped DW, then things would have gotten worse. Because I noticed that DW now learned her lesson never to wander off by herself. And yes, these episodes did happen in the series because DW also got lost in some of the episodes. Like DW goes to Washington and DW gets lost. I know DW is actually the little sister of Arthur, but still doesn't mean that she's a brat. I know she can be bratty at times, but that's her character, and sometimes DW gets into a lot of trouble. But DW now learns her lesson that if you want to go somewhere that you want to see, you must ask a parent first. Otherwise, they will not find you. And worst of all, if these things happen to DW, if her parents didn't return, then something bad may happen. And that's one of the reasons why, at the end, children need to know that it is not safe to go out alone, especially to crowded places, because I've noticed that in our capital, Kuala Lumpur, it's really crowded. And I do see a lot of foreigners and locals going there. So it's important to be very careful and very vigilant. Just because you're an adult or you know your way out, but still doesn't mean that you can wander off like that. Because if you just try to wander off like that, you will get into a lot of trouble, and worse, you can actually get 100% kidnapped, because I've actually seen a lot of news reports that children were also kidnapped because, they wandered off without telling their parents, and that actually does happen to a lot of children. So just to be safe, please, please, please don't do what DW did, because I do not want to let a child get kidnapped or worse, Yeah, so that's actually all for that book. I think the book is very nice, but I think sadly they don't sell it anymore in stores. I do believe this book existed in the 2000s, so yeah. And that's actually all for me, and I'll see you next time.